Hey guys, everyone. Hey guys, Darkspider David. Hello guys, and welcome to a Darkspider David Video Review. Finally! In today's review, we're going to be taking a look at what's probably going to be the most talked about topic of the year 2009, especially because it's a very controversial adaptation, and it's a great story overall. So today we'll be talking about the Watchmen graphic novel. Watchmen was published by DC in 1986 by writer Alan Moore. Alan Moore also wrote other stories for the DC comic book, organizations, such as many stories from Superman, from Batman. He also wrote the acclaimed Batman: The Killing Joke. I think it was The Dark Knight: The Killing Joke, which is one of the books that were used as reference for the Dark Knight movie. But he wrote great stories for the DC line and great comics, a lot of good stuff. And it was also illustrated by Dave Gibbons, who did some tremendous artwork in this book. In Watchmen, it takes place in 1985, an alternate 1985. Things aren't what they were like our older siblings or maybe even our young parents remember it. It's the greatest threat to the world right now is a probable World War III, in which the Soviet Union is actually the biggest threat, the Reds. Everybody's scared that there's going to be a nuclear war. Before this whole scare of a World War III, there used to be these superheroes. There was Night Owl, Night Owl 2. They couldn't. The same superhero couldn't do the whole job his whole life, so he had to retire, and they, replaced themselves with other people to take over the mantle, like Harvey Dent said and Harvey in The Dark Knight. And there would be all these superheroes who would save people, of course, and who were trying to, bring everything to justice. But in the end, it turns out that they were causing more havoc than they were protecting people. And in 1977, an act called the Keene Act was passed, and every superhero that was active was forced to retire. This story is kind of similar to the story that we see in The Incredibles, so that makes me suspicious that Brad Bird, the writer-director of The Incredibles, used this as a resource material. So everybody is forced into retirement. There's only two active heroes, and that is Rorschach, a very dark, brooding character who has a very secretive past, and he's got, some serious issues. And then there's the comedian, who every now and then jumps into action, but one fateful night he is resting in his luxurious apartment, and suddenly somebody bursts through the door, fights with him, brutally, and eventually he gets thrown out into the window and he gets killed. And that's the catalyst of this whole entire story. Rorschach, who happens to be the only, now at least, the only active superhero, decides to crack the case. He starts investigating. He starts to go to all these retired superheroes such as Dan Dreiberg, who happens to be the Night Owl 2, who took over after Hollis Mason, who was the original Night Owl. He goes about to warn everybody that there's a potential mass killer on the loose, who's killing off all these other superheroes. And eventually, as he's trying to investigate this whole mystery and, trying to crack this case, this whole plot revolving around the murder of Edward Blake, also known as the comedian, and the whole story of a possible World War III with nuclear weapons starts to unravel, and everything just starts to clash together. And it basically tests the, how far would society fall trying to make the world a better place. That's basically what the story revolves around, and honestly, it's an amazing read. If you love comic books, if you love superheroes, if you love pop culture in general, you must give this book a chance, because it's honestly, it's a great read, and honestly, you cannot just comprehend this story in one read. I mean, for crap's sake, I've only read it once, and there's already a few things that I've overlooked, because it's not only the dialogue that it's in the bubbles, you know, you read it, you're done with it. No, there's little inserts here that you have to read that are key ingredients to the story. And there's also little things inside each panel. I mean, the drawings inside each panel, there's different, and there's little details in there that will help you out comprehend the story. So that's what makes this comic book a great read. I mean, no wonder it deserved the Hugo Award, and it's one of Time Magazine's 100 best novels. Honestly, it's a fantastic comic book, and of course, in about a little less than 2 weeks, we're going to see the big screen adaptation from the director of 300, so you're expecting a lot of slow motion in the movie, a lot of Matrix style slow motion. Let's hope that's for the best and not for the worst. Honestly, I'm actually a little bit worried about the upcoming film adaptation of this book, because, I mean, I checked the running time, and the movie is only 2 hours and 43 minutes long. Now, I did hear some rumors that there's going to be a director's cut that's almost 4 hours long. In my opinion, I think that 4 hour long cut should have been released in theaters. I mean, who cares if it's 4 hours? I would sit through it. That's almost enough time to cover this whole thing, because I honestly don't think they're gonna cover all of this in just 2 hours and 43 minutes. So I'm a little skeptical about the upcoming movie adaptation of this book. Also, when you read this, be sure not to rush through it. Honestly, you're gonna miss out a lot of things. Don't be in such a hurry to read this book in order to go catch the movie. Take your time, because you're gonna overlook a lot of things. And it took me almost about 2 or 3 months to get through the whole book without kind of reviewing what I read in the past and not having to overlook it. So be sure to take your time. So I give Watchmen a 9.4, which is an A. This is by far one of the best novels that I've actually read. It's definitely going into my favorite list of books or anything that could be read other than the cereal box. So that's it for this review, guys. I hope you didn't get mad for me not giving away anything, but honestly, I don't want to spoil it for you guys. You guys gotta read this book and find out for yourselves. So that's it for this review, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to pick up this book. It only costs about 20 bucks at Barnes & Noble or maybe your local bookstore. Read it and then go watch the movie March 6th. For all those who are underage, don't risk getting caught sneaking into the movie and not being able to see it at all. So take a parent with you, because the film is rated R. The comic book is kind of rated R-ish, so you might want to be aware of that. So that's it for this review, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.